My name is Lindsay Worthington, and I'm going to be doing depression in adolescence. So, what is depression? Depression is a serious mental illness that affects the way someone feels. Depression causes extreme feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. Depression is more than just a temporary feeling of sadness. These are extreme emotional lows that are hard to see beyond. Um, these extreme feelings are what makes depression such a serious mental illness. What are some symptoms of depression? Feeling sad and having depressed moods, loss of interest in activities, school, and friends, changes in appetite, trouble sleeping, loss of energy, feeling guilty and or worthless, thoughts of self-harm and or suicidal thoughts. Again, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel lonely. Everyone has ups and downs in life, but for someone who's depressed, these feelings are hard to see beyond. It's hard to see a way out. It's hard to understand why you are feeling so low. A lot of people with depression will often say that they want to get out of bed. They want to go do stuff. They want to go hang out with their friends, but they simply can't. And especially for our adolescent population, that can be a very hard concept to understand. Like, why am I feeling like this? I mean, everything could be going right in your life and you're just stuck. It feels like you're stuck and you can't see beyond it. So, some statistics on adolescent depression. And I just want to start by saying that all populations, all age groups, all cultures, depression doesn't discriminate. Anyone can have depression. But just for this presentation, I am just talking about adolescents. So 15.1% have had major depressive episodes. 36.7% had persistent feelings of sadness or helplessness. 18.8% had seriously considered attempting suicide. 15.7% made a suicidal plan. 8.9% attempted suicide. And 2.5% made a suicide attempt requiring medical treatment. Again, this is in any population, this is extremely sad and a real disease, but especially for our younger population, I mean, they're not even adults yet, and they're already thinking about taking their lives. They can't see beyond this stressful and sad time in their life. And that's what makes depression so serious. So, depression diagnosis and treatment. To be diagnosed with depression, a person must be experiencing at least 5 depression symptoms stated in the DSM-5 every day for at least 2 weeks. The DSM-5 is just a book that psychologists and psychiatrists have. Really, anyone can get it. I have one. I minor in psychology. But yeah, it's just a book full of mental illness and disease that explains it, has a bunch of symptoms, and in order to be diagnosed with depression, you need at least 5 of those symptoms, and they need to be reoccurring for 2 weeks. And again, like this is beyond just feeling sad for 2 days or even a week. These are really deep emotions that people just can't see past. So if you are diagnosed with depression, the treatment plans are therapy and antidepressants. Um, the most common antidepressant is an SSRI, which is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And the most common brand names for those are Prozac and Zoloft. A lot of times with kids, people will seek out therapy first because just talking to someone, especially an adult, someone you can trust, can really help people with depression. And if they do need a little extra boost or a little extra help, then you would turn to antidepressants. So the neurology or the neurobiology of depression. I found this interesting. This is a study done by Yale. So doctors have known for a while that neurotransmitters were at fault for depression, but for a while they thought it was serotonin and norepinephrine. but recent studies have shown that glutamate and GABA are actually the neurotransmitters at fault for depression, which I thought was interesting because, I mean, we're in the 21st century, and not that I mean, I think it's good that there's more research being done with this. And I think now that they kind of narrowed down the neurotransmitters at fault, medications will start getting better for people with depression. And also, you can just understand depression better once you know the cause of it. And speaking of the cause of depression, causes of depression are imbalance of chemicals in the brain, which we discussed in the previous slide, genetic predisposition, stressful and traumatic events, and the brain's inability to regulate mood. So, genetic, well, first of all, I want to say that not one solo cause is going to cause depression. A lot of times it's a mixture of these things. Just because someone has a genetic predisposition doesn't mean they're automatically going to have depression sometime throughout their life, but they are at higher risk for developing depression. And same thing with stressful and traumatic events. Everyone experiences stressful events and traumatic events, but a lot of with people with depression, they find it hard to get through them. And also a lot of times it brings up emotions that they didn't even know that they had, which can be scary, especially in adolescence. So exercise and depression. Research has shown that regular physical activity has helped adolescents during periods of feeling low. The physical and psychological benefits of exercise can improve mood and self-confidence. As exercise science majors, I think we all know that exercise is pretty much great in all aspects of life. But I think a lot of times we fail to look at the psychological benefits of exercising. And you know that exercise releases endorphins and makes you feel better about yourself. It improves self-confidence. So anyone with depression, yes, it's hard to get motivated and it's hard to get there, but they do benefit greatly from just regular physical activity. And speaking of benefits, like I mentioned, exercise releases the feel-good hormones called endorphins. Exercise improves sleep, improves self-confidence, and enables community connections and gives a sense of accomplishment. I think the community connections one is big. I think a lot of times it is overlooked. People with depression find it hard to get motivated and stay motivated. So having a place that, you know, you're meeting a friend or even just a workout buddy or a soccer team can really help people with depression feel or just get out of bed and get there. And again, once they finish and get that done, then it gives them a sense of accomplishment. How might depression affect exercise? Like I said before, it's hard to get motivated and it's also hard to stay motivated. So I think it's important when you're writing a exercise prescription plan to do fun and different things, and really hype your client on. Like tell them they got this, tell them they're doing great and you're so happy to see them. Just that alone can really boost their mood. But if your client is on antidepressants, there's no direct effect on exercise. However, you need to watch out for side effects of the medication, such as dizziness, fatigue, nausea, headaches, and dry mouth. And here is my case study. So Lucy is a 15-year-old girl who was recently diagnosed with depression. Her doctor referred her to an exercise specialist in hopes that regular physical activity will help her depression. She will not have to go, or will help her depression, and she will not have to go on medications. Her parents hope for her to find an exercise program that is a little bit challenging but manageable. Lucy has extreme self-confidence issues along with her depression, so she finds it hard to stay motivated. They hope that this will help her stay motivated and she will gain the confidence she needs. So Lucy's 15 years old, she's pretty young, diagnosed with depression, so she finds it hard to get motivated. The goals for her are that she will fall into a regular physical activity routine. That way, it'll boost her mood and hopefully she will not have to go on antidepressants. And certainly, she will gain self confidence once she starts this program and finishes it. So, for testing, I did an aerobic 1 mile walk test. Her results were 15 minutes and 36 seconds, which is average. I did this test because I thought it was easy. While she's doing it, I could do it with her and like talk to her and see how she's feeling. For her strength test, I did a time plank because everyone knows how to do a plank. I think it's easy and it's a good way to judge core strength. And for flexibility, I did a sit and reach test because I assume Lucy has done one of these in gym class before, so she's familiar with it, so it won't cause any extra unneeded stress about this new exercise prescription she's pursuing. And her test was average. And here is her prescription. For aerobic activity, I recommend 5 to 7 days a week, 15 to 18 RPE, which is moderate to high, 45 to 60 minutes. I know that's a little high to do 7 times a week, but my idea was to get her involved in team activities like soccer or dance, basketball, whatever she likes to do. And on her off days, she could just walk or do what kids do, jump on the trampoline, go for a swim, go for a bike ride. Really anything to get her body moving, to get her even outside would be great. For strength, I recommend 2 to 3 days a week at 12 to 14 RPE, 12 to 15 reps, and 3 to 4 sets. And I recommend she use her body weight or lightweight, or just do weight bearing activities such as dance, gymnastics, whatever. I recommend it light and body weights. Just because she is 15 years old, I think it would be hard for her to get to a gym every single day. And, she can invite a friend over and do this with the friend. It's not expensive. She doesn't need to buy crazy weights, doesn't need to have a gym membership, and she can learn new things that she can do with her body. Flexibility, I recommend 2 to 3 days a week. Slight discomfort, never pain. Hold for 30 to 45 seconds each, and static and dynamic stretches. Also, for flexibility, I didn't add it in here, I probably should have, but I would recommend doing yoga. I think yoga, especially for people with depression, can be very helpful because you're able to reconnect to your mind, reconnect to your body and your soul. And I think that would really help her in understanding her own self better. So, my conclusion for all this is depression can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. It is important to take care of yourself and know your own body. Exercise can help combat depressive feelings. People can come out of depression and live happier, healthier lives as a result. So, the bottom line is to take care of your body and your mind. Here are my references, and thank you for watching.